Respect and honor, beautiful soul. We are talking about the love experience. The love experience. And a few things that I want to touch on and address today are, number one, what do you do when your career is on point? You're successful financially, but you can't seem to find the right person. You can't seem to find the right person. Number two, from the outside looking in, you have your shit together, but you can't get anyone to commit. And I'm going to speak to that situation. Number three, exes. Why they are your greatest source of constructive criticism. And why I believe we should all remain friends with our exes. Number four, why you're single. Hint, it's not just you. It's not just you. And number five, how to heal a broken heart. So the topic today is the love experience. And I think love is one of the most misunderstood concepts in life. Is it a verb, noun, or something totally ephemeral? You know, what's the difference between love and lust? And how can you tell one experience from the other? First off, you'll know when it's love if there are no conditions attached to the outcome. There are no conditions attached to the outcome. In other words, you're not going to change how you feel about this man or woman, whether you two end up together or not. If it develops into a satisfying, passionate relationship, wonderful. If it doesn't, wonderful. You're good either way. That's love. Lust is always fleeting, and lust is based solely on conditions. You know, he has to have a beard. He has to be 6 feet tall with a six pack. These are conditions, almost like a job description. Or she has to be a size 2 with hazel eyes and no kids. These are conditions. And so lust is typically short-lived. Only love can withstand the test of time. Love can still survive infidelity, cheating, heartbreak, you name it. Lack of intimacy, hard times, financial issues and constraints, but lust cannot. Lust is one of those things you'll know it's lust as opposed to love when basically any sign of hard times, any hard win, any trouble in paradise will cause the house of cards to come falling down. And that is because lust is a paper tiger almost. It feels like the real thing. It appears to be the real thing, but it's not. And that's not to say that lust is a bad thing or a negative phenomenon, but it's just not love. And so a lot of times we misconstrue lust for love. We confuse it. We think that we're in love when really it's just lust. Love stands the test of time. That's why you have grandparents and parents and people you know who've been together 30, 40, 50 years through good, bad, through the change in times, through financial issues, you name it, they can still love one another, forgive, forget, and grow and be better. But lust won't do that. It just can't. It's not built that way. It's not that type of vehicle. When your career is on point, but you can't seem to find the right person. Assuming you want love and companionship, it might mean that you're too serious. It might mean that you're too serious. Sometimes, especially as a woman, we can come off as too success oriented or too ambitious. And for some, not all, but some, this is a turnoff. I know a lot of women, friends of mine, who want to be in relationships, but they just can't seem to find the right person. They're making great money. They own big homes. They drive big E-classes. They're educated. They have plenty of letters on the wall, but they just cannot seem to find someone who will love them for them. And I think that sometimes when you're too wrapped up in your career, sometimes men take that as a threat. And there's no easy way to deal with this situation, because everyone should strive to be successful. Who would I be to say you should lower your standards or be less threatening? But just know that few people are willing to compete with your career or craft. Even for men, a lot of men who are, you're just a beast when it comes to your business or your art form or your craft, your music, whatever you got going on. And if you think about it like this, if you spend 80 hours devoted to your job or business, what time do you have for a serious relationship? If there's only so many hours in a day, and if you spend 6 to 8 hours sleep, and you spend 10 to 12 hours getting ready for work, commuting, going to work, being at work, coming home from work, and the little bit of time in between, you may want to go to the gym, or you have to go to the store, or you have to, take care of children, what have you. What time do you have for another person? I mean, to really take the time to get to know them and to build something and fall in love. And so sometimes when you are too ambitious or too driven, it can become like almost like you're warding off a deep, intimate relationship. It's almost as though you can't have both, because it's really difficult to focus and give 110% to a craft and to a man or a woman or love interest. So, and then if you're in school, oftentimes a serious love interest can be a distraction, and one of them may suffer. Either your grades may suffer, or you're just going to have to deal with the fact that you'll just be single, or you'll have very intangible, superficial relationships that don't last very long. But you may have, when I was in school, when I was in college, it worked out for me. I was able to give 100% to my relationship and 100% to school, but it's not easy for everyone. So I would say, if you are that person who, you're very ambitious and very driven, and you have it together financially, but you just can't seem to, pin anybody down, you may have to do some soul searching and just decide, do you want to give 110% to this career, and your love life may suffer, and be okay with that, or give 110% to your relationship and your career may not be, 1,000. But I say the solution is to date people who share your career path, or find the man or woman who goes to the same gym or church, or lives near you, lives in the same building as you. But loosen up. And when the time is right, it will happen for you. There was a song long ago by the Supremes, Diana Ross, you can't You can't hurry love. You can't rush love. You can't force it. It has to happen in its own time. And you can't stop it either. Make room for your future man or woman by creating a vacuum. Clear out the closet space for when they do come into your life. Have a free parking space in the garage for him or her, and date with a purpose. I think a lot of times we don't create a vacuum for people to come into our lives. And so when people do come into our lives, we scare them away or we run them away because they don't see where they fit into the equation. And so again, it goes back to what I just said. If you are spending 80 hours working or going to school, or working and going to school, or you're working and you have children, or you have so many obligations and so many responsibilities, when you do meet someone, you barely have time to spend quality time with them to get to know them, or for them to get to know you. And that can be a hindrance. That can run people away. That will run away any woman or any man who feels there's no space for them. You're not welcoming them. They just feel like they're in the way. So stay lighthearted. All work and no play is a recipe for depression and stress. You need outlets. Love is a beautiful thing. We all seek some form of companionship and to know that we're loved and cared about. Who doesn't want to wake up to good morning texts, or better, to wake up next to someone? Who wants to continue to go to sleep in a cold bed or a hot bed by themselves every night, every day? So we need outlets, and we need healthy relationships, and we need love. I think that love is right up there with oxygen and food and water. You need sleep, food, water, shelter, and you need love. And what about those from the outside? All appearances appear as though you have it together, but for the life of you, you can't get anyone to commit to you. And you're beautiful or you're handsome, but you always get cheated on. Or you can't get a text back for the life of you. I would take a good, honest assessment. Take a good, honest, hard look at yourself and do some soul searching. Are there things that you can do physically to enhance your appearance? Sometimes we think somebody's hating on us when really they're just telling you the truth. You could possibly stand to lose some weight, or you could possibly stand to benefit from getting in the gym and getting more physically fit, or you could stand to use a makeover, image wise. Your wardrobe, your appearance may need some sprucing up, but it may require you to acknowledge that which you've been ignoring. Are you giving off insecure, clingy, desperate realness? Maybe you're giving us too much clingy, insecure realness. That is repellent. That repels people. Because how many of you know love is a lot like a butterfly? If you chase it and you're just so hungry and ambitious and you run towards it and you're like, I just want to catch you, it flies away. It flutters away. It'll always run away from you. It'll always be repelled by that aggressiveness. But when you're just still and silent and elegant and fragrant in who you are, that butterfly will come and perch right on your finger, right on your shoulder, right on your hair, and it'll just sit there. And this is true for nature, and it's true for real life and love and the love experience. Sometimes when you're too aggressive and you chase love, you repel it. And when you are just working on yourself and being true to yourself, also, making yourself as appealing as possible for you, for your body type, for your image, for your complexion, for your education level, for your age, and what you're into, what you are attracted to, or passionate about. Then and only then will it come to you. But I would take a good look at myself if I were you. If everyone hurts you or leaves you brokenhearted, you have to realize that you're the common denominator. And there's something within you that needs to be addressed. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you or that everyone is stupid, but I would say if you find yourself always being the victim, you find yourself always being brokenhearted, always being left, what they say, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, always the third wheel, you're always the dude who's in the back seat, and your boys getting married, your boys got girls, they got relationships, and you're just always kind of, just lingering. You have to look at yourself and ask yourself what it is about you that gives off the idea that it's okay to mishandle you, to hurt you, to victimize you. In other words, if you find yourself always being the victim, you have to search out what is it within you that is attracting the personalities and the psychology of people who feel it's okay to hurt you. So I can go real deep with that, but I just want to leave it at that. This is a short podcast today, talking about the love experience. Exes are our greatest source of constructive criticism. I've said it before, I will say it again, because exes have seen your innermost intimate self, and they can tell you the truth about yourself without fear. They have nothing to lose or to gain by being real with you. And they can tell you what pushes people away, or at least what pushed them away. Not that they're always on point, not that they're always correct, but they have experienced all your ugliness, your attitudes, your anger issues, your insecurities, if you have daddy issues or mommy issues, along with all the goodness you have to offer. But they can honestly see, because a lot of times, we present our ideal selves, as they say, when you first meet someone, you're meeting the representative. It's like when we're speaking to people we don't know, we often give them an image of who we would like to be, how we would like to be perceived, as opposed to who we really are. Your ex knows who you really are, whether they've been with you for 6 months or 6 years. They woke up to your bad morning breath. They've seen you when you're hungry. They've seen you when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're with your family, when you're broke, during feast and famine. So they can kind of see all the range of emotions and attitudes that you exhibit. Whereas when you're just meeting someone and starting out and dating, you're giving them your best self, and that's not always your real self. And again, that's not to say that it's a bad thing, but I think that if you can get past differences and sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or go out for drinks with your ex and really just pick their brain, and if they're real enough and adult enough to be transparent with you, that can be your greatest source of constructive criticism. Because a lot of times we go around carrying baggage with us that we don't realize is actually pushing people away. And there has to be someone who can be real with you and tell you these things and point it out to you without you being offended. And those exes are excellent at that. If you can, again, be adult enough and transparent enough to listen to them. Sometimes exes can become our lovers again. Sometimes we mature, we grow, and we change, and we're not ready when we initially date someone, but then maybe a few years need to go by and we need to mature and grow and evolve and come more into who we are going to be. And then you can come back together with the ex and make it work. It happens. Other times they can just become your best, closest allies. And we all need allies. The love experience. Exes don't always come to break your heart, but often come to teach us. Exes come to teach us our greatest lessons about ourselves. Relationships have evolved over the past few decades. I've noticed it, and I'm not even, I can't sit here and tell you I'm 100 years old, but I've noticed, especially since the millennium, since the year 2000, I believe things like social media have damaged our sense of what's real. Every reality TV relationship gives us a misguided image of what real love looks like and what real love feels like and how real love operates. Does that make any sense? If you notice, most TV relationships, they're scripted. Even the shows that are quote unquote reality shows, they're scripted, and or the actors and the actresses are told to give us drama to make it appealing, to make it more appealing to come back and watch next week. We like drama. We like mayhem, and we like the dun 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 to be continued. And so in an effort for the networks to get viewers and viewings, they show us these very unreal relationships, and we're only as strong as our role models. And so we go out thinking that that's how we're really supposed to be. Case in point, a lot of people learn sex education from watching pornography, and pornography is not real intimate lovemaking. It's purely entertainment from an entertainment capital. It's designed by men for men's entertainment for the most part. A lot of times, if you do some of the things you see these porn stars doing in your relationship with your woman, you are going to turn her away, because that wasn't designed for her pleasure. It was designed for entertainment. So that's just an example. Same thing with these reality TV shows where you have all of the infidelity, you have the fighting and the drama. Like, that's not going to be sustainable in real life. We have real issues to deal with. You have bills, you have children, you have things going on with jobs and people getting sick and things like that. You don't need drama. You don't need to have somebody busting the windows out of your car or throwing drinks in your face or your ex's face, things like that. So I say that to say, reality TV, not to mention social media, a lot of the images that we're seeing are so plastic and artificial that we have a concept and an idea. We think that this is real, and it's so far from real. It can't be any more artificial. So if you're single, it may just be because you're not embracing all that this generation values. It may. We live in a time where, social media, print media, and TV values and encourages, for instance, women to have fake hair, fake eyes, fat transfers, lipo, tummy tucks, lip injections, skin bleaching, tanning beds, and no one is happy with how they were naturally created. Everyone wants to be someone else. I'm not, no shade, no disrespect, but if you have, for the first time in history, you have record numbers. Now, we've always had all different types of lifestyles, but record numbers of men wanting to get sex changes and be women, and women wanting to be men, and no one wants to be who they are, dark skin, bleaching it, light skin, tanning it. Everyone wants to be other than that which they are. And so I think it was Krishnamurti who said, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. So again, it's not always you. And I'm not saying that this world is a sick place, because we live in a beautiful world. This world system is a little bit damaged, but we live in a beautiful world, and to each his own. But just understand that when you live in a society that values the artificial, that values the plastic, that values and uplifts people who are not true to their authentic selves, and you do value your authentic self, you are going to find yourself lonelier than most, if that makes sense. And that's not your fault. How to heal a broken heart. How to heal a broken heart. I meet so many people who they're just going through heart-wrenching heartbreak. And heartbreak is no joke. Heartbreak can make you feel like, you'd rather just take the ass whooping because it's so painful. And it feels at the time when you're going through it like you're never going to get through it. But the first thing I would do is to move on by pouring your energy into constructive activities, i.e., exercise. If you don't have a gym membership, get a gym membership. Go jogging, go walking, go swimming, get out in nature, go hiking, go on a nature walk, meditate, morning, noon, and night. Meditate, clear your mind, empty your mind. Start a whole new hobby, like learning a new language. Learn sign language, learn Spanish, French, learn Portuguese. Learn a new instrument. Learn how to play an instrument. Learn how to play the bass, the guitar, the piano. But pour your energy and your spirit into things that are going to clear your mind of that heartbreak. Travel. Get outside of your familiar bubble. Travel. If you don't have the money to travel around the world or somewhere remote and exotic and beautiful, travel to your nearest beach, or travel to the mountains, or travel to a resort, a bed and breakfast. But just get outside of your zip code. Get outside of your routine, because that's going to, again, get your mind off of the heartbreak. And date people. Date other people. Nothing serious, you don't have to date thinking, okay, I'm going to get over this person who broke my heart, this man or this woman who broke your heart, by jumping into a new relationship and getting married and moving on. But date with the intent of, I am getting to know new people, and I am picking up the pieces in my life, and I am moving on. Nothing serious, just date. Flirt, but get your mind off the heartbreak, and stop talking about the offense, and stop being offended. So many times when we break up, we just want to talk about how we were done wrong, and we were disrespected, and we were cheated on, and how we gave our all and we still were shitted on. And I'm not saying that your feelings don't register or don't mean anything, but the more you keep talking about a situation, you continue to give it energy, and you continue to keep it fresh in your mind and in your heart and in your soul. and it just hurts every time you focus on it. So don't focus on it. Again, travel, get outside of your zip code, adopt some new hobbies, learn how to play an instrument, read some new books, date other people, go out on dates, join Match.com or what have you. Get on get on the social media and meet someone who can just, hang out with you, someone new to talk to. And again, it doesn't have to be anything serious, but if it turns into something serious, that's great too. But focus on, bettering yourself and adding value to yourself. Take a new class, whatever you're into. So I'm not going to hold you all long today. That's all I have on the love experience. Peace, blessings, and I will talk to you next week.